So this is my first video, so welcome to my channel, I guess, but there's been a lot of recent shit happening around my school surrounding some sophomores and some fucking kids who've just, I guess, been raping girls. And it's a whole part of this Me Too movement, and all these girls are coming out and like kind of explaining their stories now. And let me just tell you, it's not looking good for these little motherfuckers. And I know this is like my first video and everything, but this is some really outrageous shit that I find like really disturbing and like yeah, we all know rape is terrible and stuff like that, but it's more of just how desperate these fucking kids are, dude. It's sad. Listen, I'm only 17, but never in my life have I been fucking this desperate for some goddamn coochie, bro. Like, I just recently lost my virginity and I got my fucking first kiss in fucking my junior year of high school, and I just became a senior. So, never once did I fucking think I needed to rape somebody for some goddamn coochie, bro, or a goddamn peck on the cheek or some weird shit like that, bro. So for this first kid, he goes to my school. He's a sophomore, and or he's going into his sophomore year. Actually, he's a sophomore now. So yeah, fucking jackass. But anyway, so apparently 10 girls just came out exposing him basically for just basically forcing himself upon these innocent females, and he's trying to play like the cool guy and lure them in and all this shit. And they put up a freaking go or not a GoFundMe but a petition up on line, and it's gotten 10,000 fucking votes to get this motherfucker expelled. Like, holy fuck, I hope bro knows that he's not just getting expelled. This motherfucker is seeing probably juvie time. He might even get charged. No, I don't think he gets charged as an adult, but still, like, the amount, like, this guy's life is fucked. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I wouldn't ever tell somebody to kill himself, but if this man did it, I would understand why, because his life is pretty much like over essentially. He has fucked his life up completely. I'm only gonna really share one of the 10 stories that these girls accuse this kid of, because it's all pretty much the same thing, and this one was probably the most severe one. So for this first story, he basically essentially asked this girl, or he this girl fucking invited him over to go watch a regular show, and they were gonna work on some homework, I guess. And then he kept obviously just being a creep, asking. He asked to touch your like a good for asking, but like no one really asked for that. That's just kind of like a power move you make, and if they say no, you just kind of back off and you apologize. But this guy asked, she said no anyways, and he proceeded to do it. And yeah, that's basically how this story has commenced. So he basically keeps forcing himself on her, and it's not a good look whatsoever for him. And she keeps saying no, and he keeps touching her ass and touching her titties and shit like that. And it's just no, 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 over and over again. And then this motherfucker makes the bold move to stick his hand into her underwear. And apparently this girl has a previous like past with sexual assault and stuff like that. So apparently she said she froze in this situation, which I could completely understand. But dude, like if I did that to my girl, like with my girlfriend, if I stuck my finger or my hand in her pants and she wasn't feeling it, she gives me like this little alligator death roll, bro. She clamps my hand between her legs and starts spinning like a motherfucker, bro. I swear to God, she'll rip my arm off. But like, yeah, so I guess she kind of like froze and closed up a little, and then he started going up inside her, and then she started crying and all this shit, and she called the Uber home, and then he started playing the nice guys like, oh, I'm sorry, and all this shit, like all that bullshit excuse. And the crazy part about this whole fucking situation too is this man proceeds to go onto fucking Snapchat and four words as his fucking saving grace, as his goddamn redemption, I guess you could say. He just says, I ain't do it. Like, how fucking stupid. Like, he doesn't come back with no statement, no nothing. I mean, I guess you could say that's a statement, but no like paragraph response and stuff like that. Just straight up, I ain't do it, as if that was gonna help his case whatsoever. If anything, that just makes him look like more of a douche, and more people are just on like fucking. Uh, no, I can't say poor guy because he's a fucking terrible person, but Jesus Christ, he's doing himself no fucking favors. And apparently, I'm not sure if this is 100% correct, but from what I understood from this story that she put on her Instagram, was this happened in like a span of like fucking 30 minutes. Like, Jesus Christ, this motherfucker is absolutely relentless. Like, if all and it was like a 5-page story too of all this shit that went down, and to find out that it happened in 30 minutes, like there was no breaks. This motherfucker was going straight to work. Now for the second one, I still think it's pretty bad, but at the same time, it's very sketchy on both parts because essentially this guy, I guess, they were in this friend. He had this friend group of two girls, and they were in a group chat together. And apparently, he kind of, I guess, had a crush on this one girl, and they kept joking around with air quotes around it, or he kept joking around with air quotes around it, asking her to like fuck and all this stuff like that, and like send nudes and all that shit. Kind of just shooting a shot, I guess, but just joking. It was kind of like that whole "I'm kidding unless you say yes" type of shit. Like, what? Like, oh, I was just kidding. Unless no, I'm just kidding. But what if that those those memes you see on Instagram? Yeah, it was basically that whole situation. Now the only problem I have with this is this girl was kind of egging him on at the same time. Like he would like of course he would ask those questions and she would be like, "Yeah, ha ha ha," and but apparently she would follow up with, "Yeah, I'm just kidding." And all that stuff. So I mean, I guess it's not really egging him on if she's making him aware that he's just kidding. But still, you can't really play, especially as a teenager. Guys are like super hormonal and they get really like horny. I guess egging him on doesn't help your case whatsoever. So not that he's not at fault because of that, because it's just boys being boys, but that's it's just nature. That still doesn't make it okay though, because they started doing this like truth or dare thing, but like times 10. So I'm gonna just call it grown up truth or dare. So they would escalate it to like sexual tendencies of like eating them out, but it only got to making out. I guess that's the highest she ever got to, even though the second kid in the situation that I'm talking about, he wanted to bring it up to levels higher than that. So time goes by of them playing this game, and eventually they're at a pool, and then he just starts trying to get all up in them walls. You know what I'm saying? Like he's making his power move. Apparently, he pulls down her swimsuit, it gets in her waistband, stuff like that, and tries to stick it in. This is all the girl's point of view too. So according to her, he tries to stick it, or he stuck it in, and he was doing it, and yeah, basically raping her while her friend was there, and her friend didn't see anything. I guess didn't see anything wrong with it. She kind of encouraged it. Her friend's whole response to this whole situation throughout the whole truth or dare thing was, "I would do it, but I'm on my period," kind of shit. So kind of popping out, I guess. But she also egged this guy on to essentially rape this fucking girl. So all this happens, and the girl who, the victim in this situation, doesn't really have feelings for the guy, but they're good friends, so she doesn't really want to tarnish his reputation. So they try keeping it low key, and she ends up telling this one guy, and this one guy ends up getting pissed off and stuff like that, and they threaten to jump him and all this shit. And then yeah, that pretty much sums up the whole situation of this girl getting raped, I guess. But then, unlike the other guy, this second culprit here, he actually went on his Instagram and he made an actual response, which is honestly kind of fucking hilarious because he kind of just sold himself. He claims that he never actually went inside of her and that he actually never pretty much fucked her. So, yeah. But however, he does say, which you guys aren't going to believe what the fuck is gonna about to come out of my mouth, but he basically asks the age-old question of, why am I being held accountable for peer pressuring someone into doing something? Yeah, you could go ahead, let that one sink in. I mean, bro pretty much just sold himself there. Like, how fucking stupid do you have to be? Peer pressuring someone into doing something is essentially sexual assault, especially if you don't want they don't want you to do it, and you're saying, "Oh, come on, don't do it," and then they start caving in because you're just super annoying, and you start forcing yourself on them. Because physical, I mean, I guess you could say physical um altercations could also be peer pressure if you're forcing her to do it. But yeah, that definitely didn't help his case at all. And this kid has gone private since this girl came out, and he's lost like 200 followers on Instagram, and the other kid has lost like 400. I just want to talk about like how desperate do guys have to be, because this shit is really fucking sad. And these kids apparently go on to brag saying that they're getting pussy and stuff like that too when they're just fucking raping girls. If you think about it, it's just hacking in real life and with a real life backband instead. Like, you're basically cheating to get pussy. in a sense, which is fucking sad, dude. Like, if you cheat in a video game, you're a loser, and if you cheat in real life to get pussy, you were even worse of a loser. Like, holy fuck. I mean, at the same time, there's also still allegations. Like, I mean, this is America, so I'm a firm believer in innocent till proven guilty, but odds aren't really in these kids' favor whatsoever, and it's just a sad situation to see all these girls that have been affected, and I'm happy that they're starting to come out and like say their stories and stuff like that. It's and how inspiring it is to other girls, but it's just also incredible to see how freaking like desperate these kids could be, and why I don't know how pussy's getting put on such a high pedestal. I mean, I get it, you're a kid and you want to experience it because your fucking hormones are through the fucking roof, like Jesus Christ. But it's still like a shame. It's such a sad situation. But that's my time for today. Please subscribe, like, share the video. This is my first video, so I'd appreciate if you guys could, give me some exposure. Maybe I could save up my pennies and get a new mic because this one kind of sucks cock and balls. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day.